What's going on, guys? Gomes here, back again on another MLB The Show 20 Diamond Dynasty video. I come today with a somber attitude as I went through the legends that we are not going to be seeing this year. I did a video similar to this last year talking about the ones that weren't going to return, and I was right. Based off the system that works within this game, there is a way to find out legends that no longer are in the game. And this time we're going to have 7 legends, and then also going to talk about some of the players that retired or don't have jobs right now that are not in the game. Before we get into this one, make sure to leave a like down below. Always helps me out a ton getting the videos out there. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. You have been killing it. I cannot thank you guys enough for all the incredible support all MLB 20 long so far. Let's keep it going. Let's keep growing our subscriber count. Thank you guys so much for that. Now, the way to find what legends are not returning into the game is by utilizing the year-to-year save feature. What I did is I went into MLB The Show 19 and I took every single legend and players that are retiring or don't have jobs. I put them all onto teams and I started a franchise with them. So I just went into roster control on MLB 19 and just as simply went to the Orioles, went over to the free agents, over to the boomers, and put all of these guys on the teams. And the way it works is if they are not in the game anymore, they the players that retired last year, they still have their names in there, but they lost their face scan, which is going to say they are not in the game anymore. And other legends that are not returning, they are just completely wiped from the roster. So I'll show you guys that franchise, and then we'll get into the names that are not going to be coming into MLB The Show 20. I cannot find my franchise, so I guess I didn't save it, so I just have to return it right here. It is pretty interesting. There's no big names except maybe one that I think is pretty crucial that some people are going to maybe be heartbroken about. I'm not exactly sure, but yep, these are the 3 teams that I did right there, and these are the legends that have been removed. It is going to be Sean Green, of course, a Dodgers outfielder. Usually didn't get the best cards. I think he had a Sig Series card that was pretty good last year. A lot of people really like his swing, lefty bat with a ton of power against right-handers. Travis Hafner, it looks like he's not going to be in the game as well. I was kind of surprised by that because we just got him last year. It's not completely new for them only to get a legend for 1 year. That's what we saw with Albert Bell. He was in MLB 18, wasn't back in MLB 19. Of course, there was some, I think he got arrested and that probably had something to do with it, but nonetheless, it appears Travis Hafner is not going to be in the game. As you can see, he's not on any of these rosters. The next one is Steve Garvey, another Dodger. Not really too heartbroken about Steve Garvey not returning into the game. Let me know in the comments section any of these players that you did use a lot on your teams. Really curious to hear what you guys think about that. Aubrey Huff, I saw this coming a mile away. I know he's had some very, very hot takes, scorching. Like you just, I don't know, you left something in the oven at 700 degrees and it is just burning. I was pretty sure Aubrey Huff was not going to come back to MLB The Show 20, which means the Rays will probably have no really legends anymore, which is what it is. I'm not too hurt about that. Tommy John is not returning, it does seem. Another guy who is only in there for 1 year. That surprised me as well. I do believe that this is completely solid, that this is completely foolproof, because you might be saying that Hafner and Tommy John, those were legends announced within the year, and that is why they're not showing up. But if you look at guys like Honus Wagner, who also was revealed in the middle of the year, he does show up. So I believe that these guys are going to be gone for sure, because there's a ton of guys that we saw in the middle of the year. I can't point out specific names just because I don't remember the times that we saw everybody. But yeah, that is how it is going to be, unfortunately. Rick Ankiel, this is probably the second biggest one to me. Rick Ankiel, I think, would have been a lot of fun this this year, considering, you know, or just in general, because he's a pitcher, but he can also hit, and that was a major thing. I don't think a whole lot of people really used that card just because he wasn't great pitching wise, but now that you can bring starters out of your pen, I think that could have added a bunch of depth, because you didn't have to use one of your pinch hitters. You could actually use Rick Ankiel and kind of kill two birds with one stone, so to speak. Probably the biggest one that we're going to see right here is Luis Tiant. Of course, Luis Tiant is notorious in the MLB The Show community. He is an old-time legend from the Cleveland Indians, the Boston Red Sox, and he was a knuckleballer who also threw a fastball about 98 miles per hour. It's weird. We do still have Phil Niekro. I will try and find him somewhere here, but neither Phil Niekro or Luis Tiant actually showed up in the game at all. I actually can't find Phil Niekro. There he is at the relievers. Neither of these guys actually showed up in Diamond Dynasty last year, so I assumed maybe they lost rights to both of them. But I think what it is maybe they just don't want to put them in the game because they know a lot of people don't like knuckleball pitchers, or at least until they can find a way to properly implement them, because we had Ryan Fearbend or whatever, and he was really bending those, breaking those knuckleballs to a point of not even breaking the laws of physics, for lack of a better term. He was throwing them at like 50 some miles per hour, which is just ridiculous. But those are the legends. That is 7 that are not returning, and guys that retired last year that are not coming back. And here's where I'll show you how that works. We have Ichiro Suzuki. It says his name. However, does that look like Ichiro Suzuki to you? Obviously not. Ichiro, Matt Holliday, Jose Reyes, Troy Tulowitzki, Brian McCann, CC Sabathia, Bartolo Colon, Adrian Gonzalez, and Ian Kinsler are not returning. This shouldn't exactly surprise many of you because most of these guys have already announced that they are retiring, but in case you were hoping that maybe they are going to be coming, I guess it's not completely impossible. They could still pull off a last dash effort to get their rights, but that's never happened before. After a player retires 1 year, they never have them back the next year. That's never happened before. Interesting though, you might not have realized this. I think they have free agent cards. We can hop out of here at this point. We've pretty much showed off everything that we can. But Matt Kemp and Handy Ramirez, I don't believe either of them have jobs right now. And I think Handy Ramirez does have a free agent card. I have no idea what team he's actually going to be listed with. But he is going to be in the, or what team, what position. He is a first baseman. He is here. I don't think Matt Kemp actually has a free agent card, but I guess we will go back into the roster so I can show you guys his face scan is still in the game and that we should still be getting him in MLB The Show 20 in some capacity. And there's Mr. Matt Kemp. So, like I said, I went through every single player that was in last year, every single legend, every single player that retired, or like Jose Bautista, for example. I believe he didn't pop up as well. I'm not exact. Yeah, I'm pretty much positive Jose Bautista is not in this game also. Despite he doesn't have a job, I know there's possibility that he might pitch or whatever. I think Marcus Stroman was talking about that. But guys like Bartolo Colon, I think he's still finding or trying to fight for a job. But yeah, his age reset, you know, his face scan reset, and the weight reset as well. So Bartolo Colon, Big Sexy, is not going to be returning in MLB The Show 20, and that's what it's going to look like. So overall, you know, in MLB 19, from 18 to 19, we had lost Yogi Berra, which is a huge legend that we lost. I didn't like his cards anyway, but of course he's one of the greatest catchers of all time Yankee, and not returning in MLB 19. For some people that really sucked because you know, he was a smaller target, lefty bat, I do believe. So a lot of people did like him at catcher, but he did not return in MLB 19, obviously not in MLB 20, but nobody huge. I didn't really use any of these cards. I used Aubrey Huff for a little bit, but I mean a little bit. Of course, the players that retired, they definitely hurt, but we kind of expected that. We saw that coming. I'm going to miss Jose Reyes. I'm going to miss Ichiro. Probably not anybody else. Troy Tulowitzki, I guess, and Brian McCann had a couple cool cards. But like I said, this is going to be how it is. From my video in MLB 19, None of those legends ended up coming back into MLB The Show 19. Everybody who was on that list did not make a return, so I would imagine the same thing is going to be the case here in MLB The Show 20. Let me know down below in the comment section what you guys feel about this. Are any of these legends really heartbreaking to you, or are they kind of, yeah, it's one less card? I'm not really too hurt. Like I said, we have a lot of new legends this year. We have Mickey Mantle, we have David Ortiz, we have Mariano Rivera, Todd Helton, Jimmy Rollins, so many new legends that are, in my opinion, going to be a lot more fun to use in Diamond Dynasty rather than Tommy John or Steve Garvey, so I'm not really too concerned about it. Also gonna throw up a screenshot here. We have a legend preview for the Chicago Cubs. It looks like it's obviously going to be a pitcher. Options are, of course, Kerry Wood, I think would be pretty likely, of course, as a Cubs pitcher. Picture that pre-order diamond card we had from last year. Ryan Dempster is also possible. I think it's too light a skin tone to be Carlos Zambrano, but that would be awesome. I would love to get a Zambrano card, but that is a new legend that's going to be coming in the player program on Tuesday, I do believe. So make sure, stick out the lookout for that. If you guys have any thoughts, concerns, questions on who that legend might be, let me know down below in the comment section. But that's going to do it for this video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like down below. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. There goes some Saudi.